I was sitting at my desk in high school, staring at the clock with my stomach feeling heavy and my heart sad. Today was turning out to be a pretty shitty day, and I really wanted to go home. On this day, I made a mental note to do something. To count how many times someone approached me and said something, anything, any word, to me. In my mind, I guess I was trying to run a test. If I stop trying so hard to make a friend, maybe friendship will come to me. But as the clock was nearing 2:30, which was usually the end of school, I was crushed. Not one of my classmates spoke to me that day. I knew I was the weird kid, the one who was so socially stunted and couldn't carry a conversation without feeling I was wasting their time. And to better my odds, I noticed a few girls gathered in a huddle at the row of desks next to me, and I went out of my way to insert a comment into their bustly conversation. But what I got back was silence, a look of annoyance, and ultimately someone steering the conversation back on course, leaving me in the dust, ignored once again. Not one person acknowledged me or said a word to me in that time. Not a single word asking how I was, or even a hello. Nothing. I felt invisible, and I sincerely wondered if the floor opened up and swallowed me whole, no one would really ever notice or even care. It's in these days that I really hated who I was. If no one liked me, why would I even like me? What was the point? Later that day, I raced to the locker room to change into my sweats and laced up my shoelaces for track. Once again, being elbow to elbow with my classmates in the locker room, but feeling as seen as the locker door itself. I trotted out to the field and began the warm-up jogging exercise around the school property. My high school was a private Catholic school that used to be run by nuns, although now most of them were retired and living in the convent in the back. And there was one nun, my Latin teacher for that year, who just so happened to be strolling by around the convent as I was coming around the jogging path. I stopped to catch my breath and to say hi to her. She was my favorite teacher, not only because she was really good at teaching Latin, but she was unconventional. She was not the picture of a stereotypical nun. She swore like a sailor, had a storied past in childhood, which she always recounted at school, and it always made me laugh. And she was kind of slightly unhinged in the best way possible. She broke the rules. One rule that she always liked to break was getting up on desks and painting on the walls all the different Greek mythology figures. And even though the principal of the school kept telling her don't do that, she did it anyways. That was the kind of person that this nun was, and she was fantastic. So when I saw her, I felt compelled to stop. At the moment she looked at me, she saw that I had a look on my face, and despite feeling the sweat coming down the back of my neck from running, she held out her hand and touched my very sweaty cheek. And she said to me something I'll never forget. "I'm sure you feel like not many people understand you, or even see you." God, this is hard. I really have a hard time talking about this story. "I'm sure you feel like not many people understand or even see you, but I see you. Your time will come, little one. You've got so much to offer this world, so keep going. You're needed here." I don't know how she knew I was struggling so much with making friends and my feeling of worthlessness. Call it teacher's intuition or her direct line to the big guy in the clouds, but whatever it was, she knew I needed to hear those words, and that day, she saved me. As I'm writing and recording this story, I've probably stopped and cried at least 3 times. Because of how impactful it is, I'll never forget her words, and I carry it with me in my mission to heal and love myself to this day and help others to do the same, all through my art and my passion. So, cut to many, many years later, I find myself in my studio running a solo professional art practice, and I see how incredibly far I've come. Since then, I've learned to own up to my weirdness. In fact, I actually love that about myself. An eccentric athleisure-wearing homebody with an unhinged pearl-clutching Instagram reel algorithm, I enjoy eating stuff like tripe and kimchi and slurping ketchup straight out of the packets. I especially adore jarred mushrooms my grandmother makes, brines in olive oil and stores in her little cantina. There's always like a 50-50 chance I will get violently ill after eating them, but it's a chance I'm always willing to take. What can I say? I live my life on the edge. So as I'm sitting here in the studio, I am feeling this incredible urge to paint sunflowers. And like anyone who knows what's good for them, I listened to my muse, pulled out my paint, and let the brush take the wheel. I've had sunflowers completely flooding my brain recently. The gorgeous yellows of its petals, the dark maroons of its center filled with delicious little seeds that I've never learned to crack open inside my mouth, so I chew the thing and swallow it whole like a heathen, so much so that I've been painting them non-stop in my studio. In fact, I've been doing a lot of live painting sessions on YouTube because my camera broke and I just needed a way to get my painting stuff out. I started just putting the camera on, painting along, following my sunflower muse. These will be available in my shop within the next week or two, and I'll be sure to keep you posted. You can also sign up for my email and you'll know exactly the minute that they are available, just so you know. So, the sunflower. This flower is huge, tall, sturdy, and strong, bending and turning its large head to always face the sun. And like all living things, I see sunflowers as nature's teacher in all things that are good in the world. And it's not like sunflowers live this hunky-dory life, right? In fact, after some research on sunflower facts, sunflowers absolutely positively need sunlight to survive, where even sunflowers that are grown in partial sunlight will actually suffer and most likely topple over before even coming close to blooming. They need to see the light and are in constant search for it, no matter how hard the wind blows or how hungry the birds are. Honestly, it kind of begs the question, would it be possible for us to always look for the light, to search for the warmth and good, despite how gusty the winds of turmoil roar in the day-to-day? Like, can we take our cues from sunflowers, looking out for the light, whether it be the light of companionship, love, kindness, or anything that absolutely makes the soul feel warm and abundant? The optimist in me says, yeah, I can. But the critic in me finds this kind of dubious. I've been alive on this planet for over 36 years, and in that time I have found plenty of reasons to doubt that finding the light is even possible, especially in my high school years, like I said in the story at the beginning of this video. But with every hug that I give or receive, with every kiss, every act of kindness or patience, despite how frustrated I actually feel, I find myself coming back to the same answer. Yes, we can all turn to the light. We just have to open it. According to Fred Rogers, the titular character from the show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood on PBS, whenever he would see something scary on the news, his mom would tell him to look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. In those moments of crisis, when the dark is all-consuming, look for the light. Look for the helpers. Look for the crazy old nun on a casual afternoon stroll who imparts wisdom and shines her light with love and acceptance. She helped me out of a dark time in my life, and just like her, helpers are everywhere. I believe we can all be helpers, the light givers. The light of kindness, the light of being authentically myself despite the unsolicited opinions of how I choose to live my life or raise my kids, the light of giving back to my community, donating to food pantries, volunteering my time and energy to bring laughter and a bit of joy to kids and adults alike, to just sit with someone in their grief, in their pain, and to tell them at the end of the day that they will be okay and that they are loved and they are needed. Because the more we shine our light and share it with the world will start to shine brighter too. Just like a sunflower.